Oh, that was really good. I got something called a plate. I didn't even know they had plates. I did one of those secret shopper mystery visit. I learned about WABA because they needed somebody to go in there and order food and answer questions about the place. So I had done one of those mystery people things, and the food was really good. But I ordered like a bowl. It was like a bowl of rice with stuff in it. So I always just keep going back and ordering a bowl with stuff in it. But today when I walked in, it was like a weird looking plate. It looked like this really cool plate of stuff. So I ordered it to see what it'd be like. It's so much food. It's so much food. I got salmon and shrimp, and oh, it's so much food. And then you get salad and these little dumpling things. But it's a lot of food. It's a lot of food. I didn't want to talk about this side of life. I didn't want to talk about it. That's why I was in WABA eating WABA, and I heard you guys. I was in WABA eating WABA, and I heard you guys, and I didn't want to talk about that part. I wanted to be happy. I wanted to think about something good and happy, and I didn't want to talk about that part. I wanted to talk about putting my powers into Loma Linda and the joy of the miracles and the joy of walking around really powerful as a god throughout Loma Linda. Because when I put my powers into Loma Linda, I can also walk more powerfully and more freely within the Loma Linda location. So I wanted to think about my powers in Loma Linda. Hanging out with doctors and high-level experts as a really powerful me ghost outside of this thing. And I wanted to think about the positives, but yeah, I already know there's all those negatives. So you guys are a bunch of Loma Linda giants. You're a bunch of massive Loma Linda experts. And you guys already are very, very, very aware of unrealistic death, but they're not allowed to die. And you know you can't prove it. You can't prove anything. But you know, as a massive expert, they should be dead, but damn straight they're not going to. And damn straight they should be dead beyond dead, and damn straight they're just not going to die. And you can tell. You can tell that inside of their eyes is like the laughing taunt of God that they're not going to die until they have paid out enough of what they have done, or paid for enough of their crimes and, fuck yous to God and things they had done. You're realizing that IVs don't work and you have to dance around it and talk around it. You're noticing that surgeries can be a weird nightmare, as if a dead soul or some dead inner piece of them that no one can change severely affects and influences their human form. So you're going into surgeries and realizing that body is not a real body. It's like already a beyond dead corpse, which makes the surgeries go very badly. Yes. Okay, so I'm not going to lie to you guys. There's a really big Loma Linda expert that's very, very, very important to God. I made sure I found the window where I needed to put my powers, and it would hit the most beautiful, precious giant of God. That giant of God really needed some miracles today or something. That giant in Loma Linda is very, very, very aware of what sickening, scary day it really is. It's a painful thing to watch everybody on every corner laugh and have something to say when you're a cop or a doctor and you know damn straight they will get what they deserve, and all of it is horrifying. And you want to look right at them and smack them right in the face and say, it's God! What the hell's wrong with you people? But you can't. And they're not going to care. They had a chance to think or say, my queen, my queen, my queen. And it takes minutes to realize God's real and on earth and what day it is. And they just have to say fuck you to God and fuck you to the face of God and get that type of an ending. You know, you just can't change that some will hate God and die, and some will worship God and live very luxuriously. And there are all kinds of others in between answers. And you cannot change any of it. No one can. But it hits you, and it's scary. The Loma Linda experts have seen 666s on foreheads and all kinds of things. And they just, don't want to talk about it in general. But since I put my powers into Loma Linda, they, my queen, my queen, my queen, want to talk about it very excessively. And I understand that. And I'm not going to pinpoint anybody's name or single anybody out, because I know everybody wants to talk about it, but not, Yeah. I'd say hold on to my queen, my queen, my queen. I'd say run to my queen, my queen, my queen. I mean, there's nothing like the comfort of angels. There's nothing like running to my queen, my queen, my queen for anything you can get from gods that might be worth something or help to any extent about anything. The end of the world is scary for the people that did things they know they shouldn't have done, But I'm going to remind you guys at Loma Linda of a very famous thing that happened that told you the end of the world and the wrath of God was here, and coronavirus was just the beginning. Do you remember that very, very famous death? It was a really big, massive, overwhelming, obvious Loma Linda coronavirus death. That dead person, before they died, said, this is because I did it. This is because I did it. She had a right to live and exist. And this is because I did it. Gods and angels had a lot of talks as people died of coronavirus. With the magnitude of their death and suffering, and why that happens when you won't stop doing unthinkable things against a dead, suffering God. Most people that died of coronavirus just wanted to have a pity party and feel sorry for themselves and say something, predictable, like, I shouldn't have done it, or I'm real sorry. I hurt your dead godmother and abused your dead mother, Queen God, when she was already so dead and suffering. So most coronavirus people did acknowledge to the gods and angels that they know they did it. And they know it's sickening to abuse, death, much less excessive, sickening, unthinkable, impossible death of a dead God that came down just to care. Some of them didn't want to talk about it because they knew they were kind of substantially guilty. And those ones didn't want to talk about it, and gods and angels usually laughed and laughed and laughed, and they are the ones that died the worst. So this is another moment where you already knew it was kind of a scary end of the world time. As coronavirus people would die too horrifying and too badly, you always heard laughter. And you didn't want to believe that God and angels would laugh at the demise of very sickening, disturbed, bad people, but they would. And deep down, you Loma Linda people, you knew it was gods and angels laughing because they did something bad and wrong, and they were hitting a very bad ending. Yeah. Sadly, those were the lucky ones that get to die once. So you just gotta hold on to my queen, my queen, my queen to get used to death that just kind of never ends until they can die. And remember that the Bible told you they will beg and beg for death, but death will not come. Their crimes are too serious. I know there's a bad side to life. I would completely tell you guys, as good boys and good girls, to just hold on to my queen, my queen, my queen, and get through it as fun and creatively with the gods as possible.